I have a bunch of construction banging going on, so I'm just going to stay on mute.
Yeah, if you hear any odd noises on my end, I have guys here cutting down 4 of our trees that are, I hated to do it, but they're pretty much dead. So
Yeah.
all right. So last time we met for any kind of command training, we talked about designs and we looked at social posts, and I believe it was social. Let me see. Let me remember what that was. I watched the video earlier today, but it's skipping my mind here. Yes, so we did social and we did print. And we can revisit those if you want. I was going to send out an email to you guys afterwards, just sharing, you know, the last video, so you could see exactly what we went over. But today I wanted to focus on a couple things, email and video for starters. I also talked a little about last time using the assets menu and kind of what you could do here. So if you saw what I did there, I went into designs and then I hit import design. This takes you to kind of like the secondary page. Up here at the top, assets is pretty important because assets will allow you, and I don't know, Debbie, if you've messed with this, because I know you've been using designs for a lot of your graphics, but the best thing you can do is come in here to assets and get all of your stuff kind of uploaded. So see, like I have all my pictures. I even have all my pre-populated text. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I watched your first one on recorded one, you know, so I did not know anything about this assets. And since then I've gone in and added like a whole bunch of stuff. I haven't done the text thing yet, but definitely images and logos and all that. So it's been very helpful to just have it there and not have to upload it every time like I was doing.
Yep. So, and that's really what this is. It's assets is like your library of all of your different graphics and you know, your mug shots and all that stuff. Mug shots, that's funny. You know, and then there's other little things. You can put little elements in here. You can actually put videos in here, and then you can even upload files.
Like, real quick, how would you use text? Like, what's the text for? How would you use that?
So the text would actually, so like, you know, when you highlight a text, you know how when you highlight a picture and then you see those little arrows and it'll literally replace that picture with the picture you select. Are you familiar with when I say that?
Yes.
Okay, so the text is the same way. So if you select the text box and it says like, you know, email@email.com, like it's the generic part of the design, you can literally go up to the text portion, select that text box, and then hit those arrows and it'll populate your email address right in. So you're not typing it in.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So there's also a spot for colors and fonts, which I like. I use this a lot. So like I have all the KW colors and I'll send the color codes to you guys, but literally you just make your own palette. So you just come over here and you hit a plus, you put the codes in, you have the RGB code or you have the hex code, and you can do this with any color if you can get the hex code or the RGB code, and then it'll literally put it in. And then I named mine KW colors. That way I have all the colors in here. So if I want to match the KW red, you know, any of the grays, so on and so forth, it's already there. Another really cool thing, and again, this is a premium feature in Canva, but do you guys ever have a situation where you want to erase the background on an image? You can easily do that here. So for example, I can take, we'll take this photo right here. So see how I have a white background behind my head? I can hit the three dots. I can literally hit remove background. And within a minute or two, I now have a background free image. So this is good like when you want to impose your image on top of something, but you don't want that ugly like white box around it. You just want to set your image onto something. So now you have that ready to go. And it was that easy. And literally that's a premium feature of Canva.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Because even like for when you do business cards and stuff, if you want it like that, they charge extra to remove that. So
yep.
That's super cool. Then you could save that image just back to your computer then if you want to use it for other.
Oh yeah. Yep. You just download it. Yep.
That's cool.
So, and you can do that with anything. So just because this is like, I have my mug shots here, like you can come in here and upload from anywhere, you know, like I can take any picture I want. So say, I don't know if this would work, but like, here's a picture of a house. Oh, yeah, we know what picture that is. I just want to see what it does because I've
It's a
never
great
really-
picture
It is.
with fake grass in front of it.
Yes. Let's see what
It's
it
so funny
does.
when Kim first saw it, she thought that was like a rendering because she's like, we don't have grass.
Oh, nice.
I did. I thought it was a very detailed drawing
Right.
on my computer. Like that's a photograph.
Right. So not that you would ever use this, but here you go. I mean, look what we did here. We got rid of everything except for the house itself. You know, again, I don't know that I'd ever use that for anything, but it's just the idea that you have that option. So I think that's a really great feature and it's free, like I said. So then you can actually go back. If you go back to templates, this is going to give you all your templates that you would normally look at when you select something. If you go to images, we also have a library of images powered by Shutterstock. Some of these are free, other ones you have to pay for. But if you wanted to search for, you know, a specific type of thing, like if I want to put in house. So now I get some different house things, different key things. So again, like I said, some of this is, you know, free, others you have to pay for. If you see the use, that's free. You see this, you'd have to upgrade your plan and pay for them. But again, it's still a good way to get images, royalty-free images. If you hit filters, you can actually just literally click free and then keep included in my plan and maybe get rid of that one. And then we can see what happens here. So now here you go. So now you have everything that you're able to use image-wise. You know, so if you're doing a postcard, you know, or something like that. Oh, White House. I don't think we want to put that in our postcards, but you know, if you're doing a postcard or something like that, you can easily throw these in here as just a generic image. So that's available to you too. And then the other cool thing, I have a video on my YouTube channel about, I'm not going to do it with you here, but there's a premium feature that I think you have to pay some money through Adobe Acrobat. Like how many times have you ever had, say, a PDF file and you wanted to turn it into an image, or you had a printout of a PDF file, but you didn't have the original and you wanted to be able to edit it because it was a great thing. Well, it allows you to do that simply by clicking on a PDF and uploading it. And then what it will actually do is it will convert this. You can see it's like checking fonts and things like that. It will convert it into a design and allow you to edit it. Now, this does usually take a couple minutes because obviously it's got a lot of work to do and a lot of things to process. So we can come back to that then. You also have start from blank here. So literally, you're not limited to just the templates. If you want to start from completely blank and do any one of these things, you can click any one of these things and it will take you basically to a completely blank thing. Sometimes there will be templates on the left-hand side here that you can select to help you get started. Like this for logo, there is nothing. So, but if you wanted to design your own logo here, you could easily do that. I mean, you have drawings. We went over all this before. You have shapes, frames, texts, tables, and so on and so forth. So you're not limited to all those, you know, just the templates. You can create your own. And there's a lot more selection in here of what you can do. Like if you look, like everything you can think of is in here, like, you know, a digital menu, an ebook cover, email header. So you have tons of different things that you can do here. Let's see if this is ready yet. No, I have a feeling it's not. So let's try one more time and then we'll move on. Oh, I was in the wrong one. That's why. So when you go to open this, it is going to ask you to match the fonts. And that can be, you basically would just go down through here and kind of select what font you wanted it to change to. And this is an entire library. There's so many different fonts in here, but you can also search for a specific font that you want. They don't have Helvetica. I was looking for that. How about Times? Come on. No Times either. But again, like say I just want to do this Roberto. I can then select everything for each individual one. So like, let's just say I want to replace all. I can do sans. It's a decent one. So open sans, regular. Let's just try that. We're going to hit continue, and then it's going to ask you how you want to do a unit for your PDF. I always just do inches because then it makes it 8.5 by 11. Again, you might never use this, but I just want to show it. So now you literally have a completely edible. I mean, this is a this is a change in terms of denim that's completely edible. See, I can just start typing. I can do whatever I want here. So it's definitely a useful thing to take a look at if you ever have one of those situations. So like I used it for when I worked at Howard Hanna, I had a form that I used that I put in the MLS that if you have, you know, all offers must be submitted with this document, so on and so forth, the normal thing you see. And I liked the way I had it and I didn't want to retype it and I couldn't find the original. So I literally put it in here and was able to turn it right into a editable design. And then I was able to come up here, do download and turn it back into a PDF, or I could turn it into a JPEG, anything like that. But then it always will stay here as an editable thing. So I could come in and edit it anytime I wanted. Does that all make sense?
Yes, that's fabulous. I'm so glad
Yeah.
we have that. I've needed it so many times. But I'm too cheap to pay for the Adobe upgrade version of it.
Oh, I know. Well, you know how it is. Everybody always tries us to get to spend money. So we can find stuff like this that's free. It's great.
So great. Yeah.
All right. So what I want to do then with you guys, any questions on anything in here that we covered at all? Okay. So we're going to go back to
Nope.
command. Go ahead.
I said no questions.
Okay. Sorry. All right. So what I want to show you then is two different things here. We're going to start with just by going and create a design. And we're going to start with the video one first. So there's only one video right now. They're working on building that library out, but it is kind of cool that you can do this. So simply put a neighborhood in. Now this is defined by the next door neighborhoods, the neighborhoods that are in command. Now, you don't necessarily have to use these, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. So I'm just going to select this one. I can't see the bottom because our pictures are there. We're going to hit next. Now, this is all editable. So again, that's why I said you're not necessarily stuck to using Palmyra, but if you are a big report junkie that likes to pull up reports in Bright, you can transpose these figures, those numbers right into here. Right? You can talk about how the market's doing. The average home prices are on the rise, on the decline, or holding steady. The average price per square foot, same thing. Number of homes for sale, average days on market. And then you can
Mike,
yeah.
where's it getting those numbers though? Is it?
It's pulling this from the next door data neighborhood for this Palmyra neighborhood. So you know how you do those market snapshots? Have you guys ever done the market snap in designs, like a social market snap?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the same place it's pulling that data is pulling it here.
Okay.
Now this is only based on that specific neighborhood. So even though it says Palmyra, that's what somebody named that neighborhood, but it's not all of Palmyra. It's only a portion of Palmyra. So there's different ways you can go about it. You know, if you look at the specific neighborhood and it is literally like a subdivision, like my hope is Meadow Lane Farms, we could make that and literally define the borders around Meadow Lane Farms. So it is its own neighborhood called Meadow Lane Farms in the future. But a lot of these neighborhoods aren't like that because they're created by regular Joes who don't really understand exactly what it was. But ultimately, if you wanted to go into Bright and you wanted to pull the statistics for South Londonderry, North Londonderry, and Palmyra Borough, and then put those numbers in here, you could do that. All right. And then it gives you an option to select neighborhood features. So any one of these neighborhood features, if you think that something to do with the neighborhood, you could select that and add it in there. And then it has a place for your agent information. and then it has the market center information. So I simply hit next, and now it's going to generate. All right, so now we'll just go ahead and watch it. There you go.
That's
So-
so,
Yeah, so you can.
That's really cool.
Yeah, you take that and you just share it on your social media, because video is a powerful thing on Facebook. So if you can catch somebody when they're scrolling through and this starts auto playing and it kind of hooks them, I think it's a good thing. And you know, you could create a plan every week. You just do a different neighborhood, you know, and maybe you put some neighborhood information at the top of your post and have the video at the bottom. I don't know. I think it's, you know, I think it's a positive thing.
Is there a way to know what neighborhood it is? Like, how do we know? You know what I mean? Like you said, that's not all of Palmyra. So how do you know what section of Palmyra that is, or are you going to get into that?
Yeah, well, I can. Yeah, I absolutely can. So let's do that now. So we'll go to my website. So an easy way to see it is this. So I'm going to type in Palmyra right on my search bar, and I come down here and it shows me neighborhoods. Now, of course, that's not all the neighborhoods, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is just hit Palmyra. That's not what I wanted. Palmyra, PA would be better. Okay, so you see the blue lines, those are your neighborhoods. So if I click, I can't click it. Up here at the top, I'm sorry, this is how you're going to check that out. So these are the neighborhood names. Like literally someone called the neighborhood 800 to 1000 of East Main, right? It's just this little teeny tiny sliver right here. And then Palmyra is literally that, which is, I would say, most of Palmyra Borough, right? Then you have Main Street, which is a different neighborhood. Then you have West Palmyra. So those are the different neighborhoods in view. Now I can zoom out and I can get rid of Palmyra. And I'm going to clear boundary. And if I zoom back in, now it shows you a lot more. So you can see all the different, these are all different neighborhoods. And unfortunately, a lot of them are overlaid, which is weird. So I wouldn't necessarily use the neighborhoods in certain areas because they're not right? But let me show you a good example of one that is right, that I market to all the time. So don't be marketing to my neighborhood.
Hey, Mike, about the Palmyra, just as an example, is there an ability to put in Palmyra area school district? So you could pull all of that, and then you even get the Mount Gretna side of Palmyra. Like, is that an option to put in a school district for a neighborhood?
Not for that video, but if you want to search by school district here, you could type in Palmyra area school district.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a good example of an actual neighborhood. So this is Pine Ridge. This is exactly Pine Ridge, right? So this is exactly, and the information is correct because it's literally nothing but Pine Ridge. It's not like, you know, part of Quarry Road. It's not part of Moore Road. It's just Pine Ridge. So there's a lot of neighborhoods like this out there. You just have to kind of look for them. But this is ultimately what I hope we can do with Meadow Lane Farms, is literally, this is how it was designed to be, was that a neighborhood that it is a true neighborhood in person is what becomes a neighborhood, right? So, and you have some other stuff, like, I don't know, this is fairly okay. That's kind of like a partial neighborhood there, but it includes Greble Road, which I would say isn't really right either. But you get the idea.
And there's no way to edit these that are in here because they're done by next door?
No,
And-
because, go ahead.
No, I said, and then when you're doing that video or something like that, there's no way to add multiple ones together?
No, you can only do one neighborhood per video.
Okay,
That's why, like, if you, like, every week or every month, you have, like, you could call it a neighborhood spotlight, right? You pick a certain place, you go into Bright, like, say you wanted to do Palmyra, but you wanted it to be South Londonderry, North Londonderry, and the borough. Just go on Bright and search for your statistics on Bright and then input the information in that way. Or again, you could find actual neighborhoods like this and, focus on those. And you pretty much have to take a look. I mean, there's some in Lebanon that are okay, not a lot though. Yeah, see, like here, obviously there's nothing where Meadow Lane Farms is. So I'm hoping that we will be able to, make that our own. Somebody who lives there is going to have to do it, unfortunately. So I know.
well, can't we
Go ahead.
claim 201 Gardenia Lane as we live there?
Yeah, we could.
Maybe.
We absolutely could. Yeah, if you have an email address, you can create a generic email address that's not like your work email, and literally, yeah, you could go in and claim it as.
Well, we have a Meadow Lane Farms Gmail.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, I think that would be good. We can literally take the line and we could probably come up here and do, this for phase 5 or whatever that is.
Yeah,
And then just run straight across Walnut Street and then come down here and cut across right here. And that would literally be Meadow Lane Farms.
okay, we'll work on that.
Does that make sense neighborhood wise? I know it's a little frustrating. I mean, there's a lot of people that are frustrated with the definitions of this, but if you go out west, like literally, like, let me just mess around here. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but let me just try to show you something. Like if you go down to Texas, so, I mean, in Texas, literally, like that's probably one big neighborhood. I mean, you can see the street lines and everything, like it's all one neighborhood, and that's called, what's that called? When I click on it, it's not showing it to me. It's still showing me Jonestown, but you get the idea. Like here's another one, like you can kind of see by the streets that looks like an actual neighborhood. So like whoever did it in Texas, when those people did it, they understood what to do and how to do it for the most part. So it's different all over the country, I would say, with the neighborhoods. All right. And then next thing, look at emails. So when you go into emails, you have a couple different options, right? You have templates right here, and there's a lot. There's like 72 different templates. And you can change any of these things. So what I always tell people is look for a template that's kind of close to what you are trying to do if there isn't one there, and then edit it, because you can easily edit these templates. Right, so it goes all, there's tons of them. Another option is import HTML. And then another option is completely start from blank. I don't usually start from blank because it's too much work to do it all. So I'll pick something that I kind of like. So let's say, let's just do a holiday one. Sorry, I have to keep moving you guys, our pictures, because it's always in the way. All right, so here's pretty much a holiday one. You have a bunch of text. You have all your legal information. So this is what it looks like. I'm gonna do a preview. This is what it looks like now without doing anything to it. It's nice, I like it. It's not quite my style. There's a little bit of extra stuff in here that I like to get rid of, and I'll show you that in a minute. But you can leave it the way it is if that's what you want to do and just edit the text and picture. This is like basically a tag field, a merge field. So this will automatically fill in that person's first name when you send it. And then sometimes you'll have like, oh yeah, right here. Here it is again. But anyway, this is pretty similar to when you design a social post. There's a couple other options here. I mean, text box is pretty simple. It's text, obviously. Image, same thing. Button. So if I want to put a button in, I can drag that in. I can double click it. I can change the text. Right? I can link it to a page. I can do a landing page, one of my specific landing pages. Or I can do a web address and make it go anywhere. I can change the width and the height of the button. I can change the font family of the button. I like Mully. I can change the color. I can make it rounded or squared, right? So once you've done all that, you can hit done. And now this is a clickable button. You're not going to be able to click it here, but it's a clickable button. Say I don't like how it's up against. I simply drag a text box and put it right above. You're going to see text there, but it's an easy way to do it. Delete it and just hit the space bar. Done. So now I have a nice space in between, right? Say I don't necessarily like this header. I might get rid of that header and drag this header in. I like this header better. So now you'll see this has my picture and the logo. You have a legal footer you can put in, which is actually already down here. You have a listing block. So let's say I wanted to feature a listing, right? I was sending out an email because I wanted to show everyone this brand new listing that I have. Drop that in. And now I can double click this. And then I can select a listing, or I can kind of do it all myself, right? I'm going to select a listing. I can either show all listings, or I can show my listings. Right, so let's just pop in, let's pop in this one. So let's say I want to select my picture. Great, selected that picture. I'm going to hit select. So now it pops the picture in, it pops the address in, it pops the price, it pops the beds, baths, square foot. Now, one thing to remember is this square foot obviously is the combined square footage, because in other states they can combine it. Pennsylvania, we just do above grade. So I can retype my square footage in there. And then I can link it to whatever I want to link it to. So say I want to send them to a landing page, I can do that. I want to send them to a web address. And one thing I would suggest is send them to a web address, right? And when you're doing that, if you've set up the forced registration or required registration that I sent an email out about and a video out on our office Facebook page, that's a great thing to do because you'll potentially get them as a lead to register on your website. So I would actually going to send them to my property page. There it is. So I'm going to click on that. So this is the actual page for that property, and you see it popped up. So I have mine set at 3, but because I haven't cleared my cookies out of here, it keeps making me register. But this is what pops up as a forced registration. And you can set it to either trigger at 3 properties, 10 properties, 20 properties, or no properties. So it's totally up to you, or you can turn it off completely. I mean, I'm sorry, 3 properties, 10 properties, 20 properties, or no properties, or you can turn it on so it's 0 properties and they have to register as soon as they look at something. That's whatever you decide. I leave mine at 3. But anyway, so I'm going to take this link to that page. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to pop it in here. So now I have them directed. When they click on this, they will go to that web page, hopefully look at 2 other properties, and then be forced or required to register. So there's that. I can also put a market snap in here. So say I wanted to talk about the neighborhood itself. I could pop that in and do a neighborhood trends snap. Simply just put a zip code in. And then I'm going to select my neighborhood. So here's a list of the different neighborhoods, kind of like what we just talked about. So let's just say I want to put Wheatstone in. I'm going to hit done. And now this will show a really cool image of how Wheatstone is defined. I would say Wheatstone is fairly accurate. And then it's going to give you the statistics if there is any. You can also throw a video in. So say I want to link them to a video on my YouTube. I literally just put the URL, right? And I hit done. It's not going to let me do it because that's not valid. I can also put a thumbnail in. So if I want to put a thumbnail of the picture of the video in here, I can do that so they can see what they're clicking on. But that's a great way to put video in here. It's not going to play the video in the email, but it will send them to YouTube or wherever you link them to play the video. And then event block. So this is like if you want to invite them to an event, right? Maybe you want to send out an open house invite. So you can throw an image in here of maybe the property. You could write house. And you put something in here, visit me at 6 Hillside Drive. Done. And then I can even link them to a detail page. So maybe I want to send them to the property page for that property. I could do that here as well with the web address. Does that all make sense?
Yes, I think until you really do it, yeah, but yes.
No, yeah, you do. You have to mess with it. You really have to mess with it. And I know that's a lot. I covered a lot in literally like 5 minutes. So let me show you kind of some of the stuff that I've done. So what I do here is every week or two, I send out, I call it a Meadow Lane Farms VIP update, right? Oops, that's not the right one. My bad. Hang on. Yes, this one. So I send out this VIP update and I send it to everyone that's in my database that's tagged as Meadow Lane Farms. So this is literally an email that goes out that just kind of gives them an update on the community, right? So this is the one I sent yesterday. I took a picture. I let them know our design center is now open to the public and where to go. I also did a model spotlight. So this is the poplar, right? I have a link to the floor plan so they can click on this and get a copy of the floor plan. And then I come down here and I have what's available for sale in the community. And then I have a little blurb about financing and then another link for more information. So this is an email that I created. So let me show you what it actually looks like. So when a consumer gets it, this is what it looks like. So it's just something you can do. So you just
That's awesome, Mike. That's really awesome.
Thank you. So
is there any way you can share that with the Meadow Lane Farms team that we can edit it?
Yeah, so the way I have to do that is I have to put it into a smart plan and then upload the smart plan to the library, and then you guys can download it from the smart plan library. And then you'll have to edit it yourself and like obviously put your own links in and stuff like that. Like when you pull it up, your logo will be here, your information will be here, but like this link goes to my Meadow Lane Farms page.
Right.
Obviously. Yeah. And then this floor plan is the generic floor plan on my Google Drive. It's not branded to me, so you could let that there. This goes to my website, so you'd have to change that. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and mine would be different because I'd be sending it out to the, any agent that inquired about it,
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. If you could do that, that'd be awesome. Just let us know when it's there and we can play around with it. But that's awesome.
So that's just an example of something I've done. I mean, there's other things you can do here. There's even other easier ones. Trying to think here. Sort. Oops. I want to go filter by email. Here, I'm trying to think if this one probably, this is one that I think is being used right now, or maybe I didn't finish it, but this is a template. This was actually a template in the email template side. So I really didn't do anything except for add my logo, and literally that was it. And it's done. Like, that's how easy it is. So I didn't really have to mess with that. So don't think that you have to go in and do major work and you're going to spend hours on every one of these things, because you can simply go into create a design. You can go to email, you know, and you can literally say, okay, I have an open house that I want to advertise. Great. Okay, so I'm going to click that open house one. I'm going to click next. Right. So again, you can leave this the way it is, or you can edit it. Obviously, you know, you're going to edit this text. You're going to edit this text. You're going to edit this. You're going to put your pictures in. So you can definitely come in here and do this. Now, again, you don't have to touch this, because see how this is all merge fields. It says agent first name, agent last, designations, picture. So that'll all populate for you. This will all populate for you. So really the only thing you're doing is changing the basic gist of the text of the email. So you can easily send this out as an announcement for your open house, which I need to do today because I need to schedule one. And I'm slacking and it's Tuesday. Any questions on that?
No, Mike, that's really awesome. Your stuff you're just so amazing. I think your stuff just looks so good.
I know.
I just look in Indy. I'm like, who are you?
Well, thanks. Thank you.
But
But you guys can do all this too.
Oh, I
For sure.
know. I just, yeah, no,
It just
I need to.
here's the thing you have to remember with everything in Command, you know, it's just like anything else. You have to spend that time up front to kind of build things out, but it's pretty much set and forget it now. I don't really have to go in and do a whole lot. Like my smart plans for my home anniversary, like they're done. They go out. You know, smart plans that I've built for Facebook ads. Like I literally have a generic Facebook ad smart plan that all I do is each time I create a new ad, I hit copy and I just change a couple little things, and it takes about 5 minutes to do. You know, last night I created an ad for Debbie, and I had it, I told you, and then I think I had it done, what, Debbie, in 10 minutes tops. You know, so once you have like the foundation of things built, you can, it's a lot easier. Then you just have to kind of put that little bit of time in up front. But once you have that stuff built, it's definitely makes it so much smoother.
I mean, and you know, because I had run my own ad and I did not get good results. So Mike went in and looked at it and he's like, oh, you know, like he just had some really good tips. Obviously he's done it a lot. And the way, you know, some of my stuff, I was competing against Facebook's algorithms and things like that. So he helped just create something that would, I'm hoping, we just started it it's kicked this morning, that, you know, will be much more successful.
Yeah, that's great.
So one other thing I want to show you is import design. And I don't know if any of you have or have done this in the past, but oops, that's not what I wanted. I'm sorry. Ignore what I just did. So I'm going to go back into email. I'm going to do import HTML. So I don't know how many of you guys have other programs, maybe email programs you use or things like that. But there is a way that you can literally create something in HTML and then upload it into an email. And it's as simple as this, right? So you could Google HTML code generator. I don't have the link to the one I usually use on this computer. It's on my desktop, but I think it's this one. So I know this looks crazy, but you can come into some of these things and you can, this isn't the one I want. There's a really nice one that lets you, oh, I wish I had it. I'll find it and email it to you guys, but there's a really nice one anyway. The point of the matter is you can come in and kind of create everything that you want and then pull or subtract the HTML code out of that thing. And you can then paste the HTML code in here. So for a quick example, let me open up my email. All right, so where's this at? Right here. All right, so for example, this is what I did. So Debbie, you'll recognize this because this is the exact thing that I did for you today. All I did was take the HTML code from that Meadow Lane Farms page, I copied it and I pasted it in to that little blurb that I was just showing you right here. And what that did for me is that generated, let me go out and pull it up. That generated this. So now I think this is a great tool, because if I want to send this out to potential people I meet and say, yeah, I'll email you the information on all the models that we have, I can literally send this and it's all clickable links. So like they can click on the floor plan and see it. They can contact us for pricing, so on and so forth. But if you have any types of programs like that, where you have the HTML and you want to kind of throw that into an email template, you can do that. And that's what I did here. And I think this will be a good tool for us too.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mike, can you do how you grab the HTML code again from the website or link or
Yeah,
whatever?
so literally, so to make it easier to understand. So this, I created this for our websites, Debbie, for yours and mine and
Okay.
people's. And this is all HTML code. And I have a code generator. Let me pull it up on my desktop. Hang on, just so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, it is. So this is my favorite HTML generator. So ultimately, this is your HTML code here. You don't know how, you don't have to know how to code it, okay? This is all your text and what you're designing. So you can come into here. I'm going to delete all of this. But let's say I just wanted to create something, right? So say I want to put an image in. Now, your images have to be, what's the word I'm looking for? They have to be sourced from an online place, right? So you have to get them from an online source to put them in. And that's as simple as coming into a web page. And sorry, let me just, I wasn't prepared to show you guys. so hang on just a second.
Well, yeah, and if you want to save this for another thing, that's fine too, because this
Yeah.
seems like it's quite.
Yeah, I think we should. I think we should save it for another
Okay.
time, 'cause
This
this is
yeah.
very advanced, but
Yeah.
you know, so just for example, I'll just show you like this. Right, so see, as I type in here, it's creating this HTML code. This is the HTML code. So literally I can design whatever I want in this box and it will create the HTML code for me. And I will simply copy this HTML code and literally come back here and I'll plop it in. Let me get back there. I'm going to import HTML. So I'm going to plop it in. I'm going to take that entire code that I just did and plop it in here. So let's show you. So I'm going to just copy this. Right. So look at how this looks. I'm going to come over here again. And now I'm just going to paste it. And now I'm going to hit import. So now what you just saw over here is now here. That's all I did. That's all it is. So I know that's a really basic overview, but this is, imagine this is like Microsoft Word, you know, and you're creating a document or you're creating a flyer or a poster, and you want to have different elements of HTML in here, or you want to have different elements like pictures and say, you know, I want this to be heading 1 and I want this to be blue text, you know, whatever. So again, this is your HTML for this.
Okay.
So
it is pretty advanced.
It's very advanced. I wouldn't recommend it, but ultimately where I was going with this is like,
yeah,
if you use a different email source, like maybe you have another program like Market Leader, for example, Debbie, Market Leader would allow us to export the HTML from any of the emails that we did, right? You take that HTML and plug it in here and you could literally copy what it was. That's ultimately all I wanted to show you there.
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
Yeah.
But it allows us to do cool stuff like this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So.
Very
all
cool.
right. Honestly, that is like pretty much it for designs. I mean, you know, there's a couple other things like, again, you know, you saw what I did there. You can filter out by your current email designs. You can filter out by your print designs. You can search your designs, so on and so forth. If you want to make copies of things, you know, you can just copy. So what I do, like my Meadow Lane Farms email. So whenever I do this update, I don't redo the whole thing. And I don't go over top of this one. I literally just go like this. I hit rename. I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. I hit make a copy. And now I have a brand new copy that I can go in and now I can change. So I can completely edit this how I want to edit it. And everything that I had from the other email is all there. So I'm not like starting from scratch every time.
That's awesome.
You know,
Looks like things have come like just so much further, and there's so much more you're able to do now than just even, you know, a few months ago.
it has, it really has. It's definitely come much further, and it's much more stable. It's much more user friendly. I don't get errors and glitches. I mean, every now and then, but I mean, what program doesn't, you know, when you use it? But it's nothing like it used to be where, you know, you would go into something and try to do it and you get frustrated and just get out of it. And that's pretty much how it was. Like when I first came over, I was all gung-ho about using command, and it drove me nuts because I couldn't do anything. Everything would freeze up and this wouldn't work right. And, you know, everything just wasn't there. So it was a matter of giving it time. And I think, you know, Gary Keltler refocusing everybody and saying, look, we're fixing this before we start adding new features. And they fixed it. And now they're really adding some great features like that. I can't say enough about that forced registration. Like that's a huge win. And you guys know how to set that up. Do you want me to show you that real quick while we're on here?
Yeah, show us real quick. Yeah.
So you're just going to go to consumer tab. You're going to come up to site and app settings. You're going to scroll down. And then right here it is. So registration. So these are your property limits. You can have no property viewing. So that means that if you share a link with someone or they go on your website to look at a property, they can't even look at it until they register. You can make it 2. I'm sorry, I gave you guys the wrong numbers. I said like 3, 10, and 20. I was wrong. You have 10 or you have unrestricted. So I would recommend one of these two. I don't know that I do this. I think that's a little harsh. But this is, so think of Market Leader and think of Boomtown, right? We advertise properties on Market Leader. We paid Boomtown and we paid Market Leader to advertise listings for us and get us leads. And this is all they did. They literally did the same thing. They put a block on that, they advertised the listing. Someone looks through, I think Boomtown was by picture, right? I think you only look at 3 pictures and then it would make you register and you couldn't look at anything else. So that's in essence what this is. And it's free. It's not costing us anything, right? So this is a huge win that I've been waiting for a long time. So I would absolutely set this up and get people to register, because I mean, I've gotten probably about 15 site registrations in the past 2 weeks, just from now that this is enacted, and I can go in and I can literally see. So let me show you. So I can go into my contacts, and go to my filters. I can go to recently active. I can go within the last, just say 1 day, right? So we're going to do, oops. Why is it doing that? Stop it. I have no idea what I just did. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys even can see it, but my screen was going crazy.
No.
So these are all the people that have been active in the last day, right? And so I can click on like this guy. I can see exactly what he viewed. So today at 6:22 a.m., he viewed 27 Villa Lane. I want to see what that is. I can click on it. Of course, I need to be signed in, but it would show me the listing, right? Then I can see, okay, yesterday he looked at 3 different properties. And then
Are you
here's,
actively working with this person, like, or is it he just viewing properties? Just curious.
I am not actively working with this person. He was an internet lead, and he has not contacted me, but he is using my website.
Yeah, that's
you know,
super cool.
yeah.
And I just did for the lead I got on 102 Stonehenge. Since it's in South Lebanon, I just put them on my monthly smart neighborhood plan. I just selected where the home was located and put them on that too.
Neighborhood nurture. Yep.
Yeah, you could see where he's looking and add a neighborhood for him. Yeah.
Well, And the other cool thing is now that he has got this check mark for the site connection, you can actually put him on a saved search. And that's what I'm doing with every one of them. Right.
Wow.
And I'm not doing the neighborhood or zip code. I'm doing a custom map drawn image. And literally I'm basically just drawing a picture, drawing a line around Lebanon County and making like, you know, a circle.
Yeah.
And then just setting the parameters very basic. Like I just look at, well, this, I didn't do this.
20 million.
I think Angie, I think she messed that up, added too many zeros because Angie does all this for me. But
Yeah.
But yeah, so like this would be 100 to 200,000. And that way then anything, and it's very generic, like it's just very generic.
Yeah.
It's 100 to 200,000. There's no specific beds, baths, anything like that. That way then it emails him every day of all the new listings. So he's probably getting these listings from the email being sent to him.
So Mike, so you didn't have a search set up in Bright for him initially?
No, because he came from, I have a Facebook group with 1,000 members. It's called Lebanon Homes for Sale and Rent. And
Okay.
literally Angie posts all the new listings in this Facebook group. And I've closed 3 leads out of this group.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Now one was a mobile, well, 2 are mobile homes, but still it's money I didn't have. But anyway, so that's where he came from. He came from that group. He joined the group. He saw the properties. Now that I have the registration, the forced registration, he signed up. He had to because he was clicking on the properties. And so now I have him on a search. Him and I have had a conversation and I sent him to a lender. And I'm waiting to see how that works out with him. So I'm sorry, you did ask me if I was working with this guy and I realized that I was thinking of a different guy. No, this is the guy. So he's getting pre-approved or trying to get pre-approved. That his credit's not that great. So.
Wow, interesting. So much that you can that can be done.
Yeah. So I mean, ultimately, if I can say anything, you know, when you have a new listing, don't create a landing page. I know that you hear a lot about landing pages and things like that. Don't create a landing page. Literally go into the actual property, get the specific URL, copy that, and paste that in to advertise it, right? Make sure you have your forced registration turned on, and you'd be surprised at the leads that'll come in. And then make sure you have a plan. Make sure you have a plan of action. So I have a smart plan set up here called Consumer Site Registration Follow-up. Now, at this point, there's nothing that if someone registers on your site, there's no auto trigger to start a smart plan, which is fine. So whenever someone registers on my website, I get the push notification on my command app, and I just go into the command app and I assign them to this smart plan. And it's just basically a follow-up. It says, hey, thanks for checking out my website. Glad to have you on board. You know, what kind of home are you looking for? And then the next day it says, hey, I'm going to set you up for a property search based on the properties that you were looking at. And then I have a task that pops up for Angie, and then Angie will come in here and create that saved search for them. And then of course,
and is that like that smart plan, that consumer is that something you could share with the team?
Yeah.
So we could just then edit it, copy, paste it, and then edit it, our information.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So you'll see, this is what it is. It's all, the first one is a designs email, and then like there's the task, and it pops up on my tasks and it says assign Daryl Stickler to a property search. And then here's the regular email. It just says, hi again, we wanted to circle back and let you know we created a home search for you based on what you previously looked at on our website the other day, blah, 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 blah. And then there's another email. You know, it's basically just trying to get them to answer you or email you back.
Yeah.
And one thing I would suggest too is, if you haven't already, I know we talked about smart plans a long time ago, but make sure you go into the library and you see what's all in there from other agents, because there's so much in here that you can, like, you know, here's a guy that created an August newsletter. Crazy, right? You can download that and use it. You know, right here, add
Yeah.
smart plan. So you don't even have to do the work. It's already there for you, right?
Yeah.
Somebody else did it. You know, and you can hit see all, you can search by certain smart plans. I don't know, let's say site. I think that's actually where I got that site registration one. Yeah, I think that's it right there. Consumer site
Oh, yeah.
registration.
Okay, so we
and
can
it's
just
that-
copy it there.
Yeah, it's a Nick Baldwin one. So you can literally just bloop, add smart plan.
Yeah.
That's all you do.
Oh, I was gonna say about the advertising your listings and things, like Mike, because it allows you to do both Facebook and Instagram, and Mike said not to do Instagram, just focus on.
Yes. Yes, definitely don't do Instagram yet. Well, here, let me show you campaigns real quick too.
So Debbie, I just saw your listing on Instagram. Is that through this or you just did that on your own?
I just said, oh, wow, I don't know how, I mean, I also put it on Instagram, just my personal account. So that's, you've probably seen that.
Yeah, but that's not through this. You did that just your own design and.
Yeah, but it's the same design I think Mike used then, right? In the promotion of it.
I didn't actually use the design when I did yours.
Oh, okay.
No, so this is how I do mine, and you can see here, I'll go back to it. You can see how I ran this for 8 days, which I should have done 10. You always want to do 10 days because that gives it enough time to get traction. I had 2,000 impressions. I had 274 clicks. I had 27 leads and I spent $40. But
Wow.
a couple things that Facebook doesn't like. Facebook does not like text in your image. So don't ever put text in your image because it will not be shown. I don't know why. I don't know why that messes with the algorithm, but it does.
Which was problem number one for my first one I did.
Yep.
I used my design I created through Command.
Yeah,
Design.
and it was an absolutely good design, but
Oh yeah, no, but right.
ultimately what you're trying to do with this, right? So think about this. If you're a consumer and you're searching through, you're scrolling through Facebook, you see an ad for something, and it gives you all of the information, right? You're not going to click on it because it's all the information's there. So ultimately what you want to do is give them some basic information. Like you can see, I'm not giving them a price. I'm telling them that it's in Cornwall Lebanon School District because we know that that's a plus, right? I'm telling them it's a ranch plan because we know that's a plus if they can't already see that by the picture. I'm telling them when it can be completed, that's a plus. And then I'm telling them how many dollars in upgrades, right? But I'm not giving them the price. I'm not giving them the amount of bedrooms. I'm not giving them the amount of bathrooms. I'm not giving them much. I want them to click. So this is going to pique their interest and they're going to literally hit home, learn more. Another thing is emojis. For whatever reason, people like emojis. So I did not, don't ask me why. I did not put an emoji up here, but I bet you if I would have put an emoji up here, it would have helped me more. So like Debbie's that I just did, I put an emoji up here and I put this emoji down here. And believe it or not, that will help for whatever reason. I don't know if it's like that extra pop of color in the text.
I saw that emoji. It was about the fireplace and it was the little fire emoji. And I'm like,
Yep.
I can't believe Deb did that.
Well, I think that's, did you do fire emoji? Or that's my Instagram one?
I did not
Yeah.
do a fire emoji.
Right, and the one Mike did did not have, no, that was mine, Kim, I did do that.
So, but keeping it simple, right? And then
Simple.
this, when they click this learn more, it takes them to, well, let me back up. No offense, Debbie. Another thing Debbie did wrong was
Yep.
she took the link for
Oh,
the
yeah.
property and she had it right here so that basically anyone could just circumvent this whole thing and click that link and they wouldn't get squeezed by Facebook for their information. So never include the link to where you are sending them in the text because people aren't dumb. They're going to click on that because they don't have to give their information. So never have that there.
Yeah,
But when they click on this, then they're going to go to Facebook and they're going to have to enter their information and then it will come into you as a lead and then it will direct them wherever you tell it to go. So you can send it to like this single property page for that, it's gone now. You could send it to the single property page for that page, or you could do a landing page in this case, because you've already gotten their contact information, right? The last thing you really kind of want to do is run this and link it to that specific property page, get their information from Facebook, and then squeeze them again after they look at 2 properties to get their information. So in this case, you have to just be careful with that on how you do that. It's kind of, you want to play with it a little bit and see what works. And that, honestly, that's how I've done a lot of this. Like there's every time I do an ad, I do it a little bit differently just to see what works better. But ultimately, you can kind of go down through and you can see like Instagram, right? So when I looked at Debbie's numbers last night, see if it's the same. Yeah, so look at Instagram on this specific ad right here, right? I had almost the same impressions. I had not even is that even a quarter of the clicks that Facebook had? I got 2 leads and I spent the same, I actually spent more money than I spent on Facebook and got 9 leads from Facebook and only 2 leads from Instagram. For whatever reason, Instagram is just not as successful with that kind of stuff. So don't waste your money, because as far as I'm concerned, if I would have put this $10 on here, I probably would have ended up with 18 leads total and not 11. Right? So I'd rather spend my money on Facebook and not Instagram. That's what I've learned, is that Instagram is just, it's now this one, for whatever reason, I don't know. This one was weird because this I got 6 leads from, maybe because it's just land. I don't know. But normally when I run Instagram, it always ends up like this. And that's exactly how Debbie's looked, right? Because you spent $20, Debbie, and I think 10 of it went to Instagram, and you had like 1 lead from Instagram. Yeah, it's a waste of money, right? Because it's all about the dollars. It's all about how much is your cost per lead. So, I had 27 leads at $1.48, right? That's pretty good. Here I had 11 leads at 91 cents each. This was a little expensive. Again, I did Instagram on this one, right? You can't see it, but there's an Instagram there. I don't know why it's not showing me the drop down. K-score is a bust. I don't even try to do K-score anymore. But yeah, you can kind of see this. And if I could go back further, like I have some ads where like I'm getting leads for 60 cents a piece. So I still think $1.48 a lead is pretty good. Right.
Well, plus
so
you're getting all their information too.
Right. You are. And that's the cool thing, because now all 27 of those people get added to my weekly Meadow Lane Farms update email. So now I'm dripping on them every week or every other week, and I'm sending them out information about Meadow Lane Farms. So, I mean, to me, that's invaluable. So.
Hey guys, I got to jump off to do this showing. But Mike, thank you just for sharing. And your knowledge is amazing. And if we could tap into just a portion of it, I think we're all gonna, be real successful. But just thanks for sharing. It's just so great.
You are welcome.
Okay, I will talk to you later. I'll let you know about Brandy.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Okay. I too have to jump off. Thank you so much for everything.
Yep, you're welcome, Shannon. Thank you.
I'll reference the video when I'm ready.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Bye.
Mike. See ya.
Yep, see ya.
Bye. Thank you.